And welcome back to A Podcast in Space and Time. I'm Kendal Coffee.
And I'm Holden B. Huffman.
And today we're discussing Doctor Who, Series 3, Episode 6, The Lazarus Experiment. So, this is a great episode written by Sam Raimi.
Yeah, written and directed by Sam Raimi. Very good. You know, you got everything going on with, the science experiment gone wrong, women that are useless.
Women who are there just to kind of stand around and scream.
and then you end it in a cathedral.
End it in a cathedral, yeah. Defeating the villain through the power of sound.
Right.
Just all the hallmarks of a Sam Raimi story.
Right.
Really.
Well, a Sam Raimi Spider-Man story, anyway.
A Sam Raimi Spider-Man story, yeah.
I can't really say much because I've not seen any of his other films.
Yeah, I don't know what his other films are like, but this whole episode had very Sam Raimi Spider-Man vibes.
We literally had the Scorpion in it.
We had the Scorpion in it. We had the science experiment performed in front of a crowd for some reason. Like, you have this big, dangerous experiment that's being performed for the first time, and they do it in front of a crowd of people where many things could go very wrong.
Right. And like in Spider-Man 2, the whole perpetual sun in the palm of my hands thing. You're really going to create a second sun in a building with people watching, and it's never been done before. You haven't even turned it on once.
In the middle of like a very busy part of New York City, like
right. Like, what the heck?
And here we're doing it at some kind of presentation in the middle of London.
I will give the episode one thing.
Yeah.
It was all human. It was no aliens.
Yeah.
Which is a rarity in Doctor Who.
That is fair.
You see it a lot in classic Who. Like, it's just a lot of human villains.
Mm-hmm.
But in New Who, you barely see it.
Right. Where
it's just humans being evil and the evils of humans. You don't see that very often in New Who.
Right.
I can only think of one episode at the top of my head, and that's in series 10.
Okay. We can discuss that in the spoiler section.
Yeah, that was just a quick little mention.
But yeah, very, very human villain, very kind of the I guess evils of human motivation, like this desire to kind of avoid
death,
avoid your own mortality at all costs, which is not, I mean, it's not super original as far as villain motivation goes, but I thought it was handled well.
It was done very nicely, and it kind of paralleled with the Doctor and just regeneration, him living forever.
Right. Like the Doctor is kind of almost involuntarily someone who lives forever, whereas Lazarus was wanting to live forever out of his own sort of selfish desires.
Really good lines in this episode. There were some very nice moments, some very good lines. What was it? Hang on, it was basically some people live more than 20 years than other people do in 80. It's not the time, it's the person.
Yeah, I thought that was good.
And that actually reminded me of some lyrics from one of my favorite bands, the Jelly Rocks by Matt Langston. Also check out 1177isalive.com. Sorry, I have to promote him. He's my
gotta give that 1177 plug.
Listen, it's an indie band. I gotta give him some promotion.
Yeah.
What is it? Here we go. Why live forever if we never learn to live for something real.
Hmm.
That's by the Jelly Rocks in Fade to Fiction on the Embellish EP. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, and very
Check it out.
much. And that's very much the theme of this episode. We've talked about in the past how, like, there's like the occasional Doctor Who episode that really seems to have kind of like a theme to it.
Mhm.
And we really see that here with just like,
Mhm.
the conflict between like the
Right.
Doctor is someone who basically does live forever, but he pours all of his time and energy into like helping people and
Mhm.
living for the most part very unselfishly. Whereas Lazarus is, he wants to live forever
For
because
money, power, and wealth.
right, and he ends up harming all the people around him who care for him.
Right.
He kills his wife and like, kills like all these people that are just there to like try to help him.
And of course, he kills the woman that said the line, "The only danger here is choking on an olive pit."
Yeah.
And then she's the one that dies.
Can we talk about how women were written in this episode
Very
mostly?
horribly. The only woman in this episode that was written good was Martha. But that's just
Yeah.
because she's a companion.
Yeah, like Martha has kind of an established character and arc,
Mhm.
so like she like continues on that arc and continues to be well written, but like everyone else, I was especially bothered by how Tish was written.
Oh
Like,
my gosh, yeah. With her and Lazarus.
yeah, because
Like at the beginning you see Lazarus flirt with her for a second, and then Tish is like, ew. But then as soon as he becomes a young man, it's
yeah, I found that very, just like, I don't know, like it felt, it was just kind of gross to me the way
it
that
was.
was the way that was written.
It very much was.
Which is a shame because, like, I think overall this is a pretty well written episode, and there's, like
Yeah,
you said, there's
it's
a lot
not
of,
my favorite of the season so far, but it's not my least favorite. It's somewhere in the middle for me, really.
yeah, and I don't know, it just it felt, yeah, just kind of gross.
No,
Um,
I definitely agree. I definitely agree. Um, yeah, written by Stephen Greenhorn.
Stephen, maybe work on your issues with women a little bit.
Yeah,
Maybe think about doing that, buddy.
I'm gonna check out see what else he's done.
Has he done anything else for Doctor Who?
He did the Doctor's Daughter in the next season.
Oh, that's a great episode.
Yeah, that's it though.
But yeah, anyway, I don't want to talk about this too much, but
Right.
yeah. So okay, can we also talk about the creature design?
It was a PS1 Scorpion from a Spider-Man game.
Yeah, it was like,
Although I will admit, the actual PS1 Spider-Man game with Scorpion in it looks so much better than this.
yeah.
By the way, I love that Spider-Man game. That is one of my favorite Spider-Man games of all times.
Oh, it's a great game. Yeah, it was like I thought it was a good creature design. Like it was
It was a very good, creepy design.
just very bad execution.
Right. One thing about the design I would have changed, and it probably would have come out better, was the face.
The face. I think that was the biggest part for me. It was like,
it was too human.
have you seen shots from that? Oh, what's that one, the Mummy movie with like Dwayne the Rock Johnson as like a half scorpion dude? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, the Scorpion King?
Yeah. It looked like that, where it was like,
no, I've never seen those.
you haven't seen okay, go look up like the shots of Dwayne as the Scorpion King. It looks very similar to this, where you
okay, I'm Googling it.
You have that very like uncanny valley of this CGI like human face on
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's awful.
Wow.
Um,
That is horrible.
will haunt your nightmares. Uh, um, but yeah, we got that same vibe here. Just like
Ugh.
I don't know, they could have done something with the face to make it not quite so.
Human. They did with the mouth, but that was only on occasion.
Yeah. And I think like for the most part, they tried to keep the creature off screen, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that was a good choice, or just like show bits of it at a time.
They
But
did
like,
a much better job in the last season. We discussed that a lot, and it was actually ended up being my favorite episode of last season,
yeah,
Tooth and Claw.
with the werewolf, yeah,
Right. Like that was a very clever choice and very, very good artistic style as well of just not showing the creature
yeah.
fully.
And I think like I wish they had done it a little more of that here.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just like I really just don't want to see CGI Mark Gaddis face. Thank you.
Oh yeah, speaking of Mark Gaddis, I'll give him this. I'm not a fan of his writing. He's a very good actor though.
He's a great actor. Yeah.
He's in this episode. He's actually in some future Doctor Who episodes, but I don't really want to get into that. Um, uh, he's in Sherlock, and I love him in Sherlock.
Yeah, he's very
I
funny
don't
in Sherlock.
again, I don't like his writing in Sherlock, but I love him in Sherlock.
Yeah.
And then him and Christopher Robin. He's literally Obi-Wan Kenobi's boss. Like, you can't get to say that except for like Samuel L. Jackson of being, I was Obi-Wan Kenobi's boss.
Yeah.
Like, there's only like two people who can really get to say that.
Right.
And then you have him, and then you have Ewan McGregor in Birds of Prey. He's literally the boss in Birds of Prey. He's Black Mask. So
Anyway, Mark Gatiss he's a good actor.
he's a very good actor.
He really like I think he was a good choice for this role because he has like the gravitas needed. To, like,
Also, apologies for any excess noise. It is winter in the middle of recording this, so my heater just turned on and it's cold. So
just trying to stay warm over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he really has like the gravitas to pull off this kind of like very conceited, like, but also in a way kind of grandiose character, like very full of himself, but also just like very dangerous and powerful. Yeah, I think he pulls it off well.
Right.
And
the people at the glass door, it kind of bothered me that no one tried to throw a chair into the glass door and to get out.
Yeah. Which I feel like this kind of glass is probably a bit harder to break than it seems.
Oh, I'm sure it is, but come on, at least try.
Yeah.
No, like that's what I'd be going for.
Yeah. Throw something. Try to break that. But luckily Martha was there doing something. Doing something
sciencey, wyancy.
Yeah, doing her smart thing.
Right.
Let's
always
see.
The mothers. Every time.
It's always the mothers. I do like how Doctor Who does how Doctor Who handles mothers. I think it's very good. It
is very good. You know, just the Doctor and Martha Jones doing stuff.
Oh, we were very busy doing stuff. Doctor. And Martha's over there giving him a look like, if I'm going to get in trouble for this, at least we could have done the stuff that I'm getting
And then when they were actually in the machine, and then the Doctor gets out the screwdriver and then bends down. I'm like, whoa.
What'd you do there, Doctor?
No.
Oh, you're doing science. Never mind.
Yeah, like whoa, easy there. We have
Uh,
had some very phallic screwdrivers before, but
that was
woo,
a that was a moment.
yeah.
Um, Also, the doctor talking about like how this was somehow related to like a recessed evolutionary gene. I was like, I don't think that's how evolution works.
It's not. Here's the thing. Did you see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows with Rocksteady and Bebop and Krang?
Nope.
Okay. You do need to see that. I got to get you to watch that sometime. It's actually pretty good. They actually follow the original cartoon a lot more in that, and it's got some really good moments. But anyway, that's their excuse in that movie for Rocksteady and Bebop. Oh, it looks like this mutagen stuff sends them back to their ancestral form. So I'm like, wait, ancestral form? Does that mean one of their ancestors screwed a rhino and a warthog? What?
I don't think that's how that works. And like, the thing is, there would have been a very good explanation for this.
If he had turned into an ape.
No.
Oh.
For you could have justified this specific monster he turned into, because okay, I'm not going to give too much away, but there's a movie called Annihilation. It's
I still need to see that.
It's
I'm thinking of Arrival.
Arrival is very good, but Annihilation is really good too. But basically, like what happens in that movie is they go into this like weird, like field created by some kind of alien object that that basically causes cells to like divide at like a really incredible speed. So like you see like really like over the top evolution in like the things they find in there. They're like dividing and evolving and like growing these weird you know, like they start to like basically generate like new body parts and all this stuff. So like
interesting.
That would have been a very
that sounds interesting.
It's very good. It's also very scary.
Okay.
I'm kind of a wimp for horror movies.
I am too. Like
really
the only things I can
scary.
take are the campy Stephen King stuff.
Yeah.
Like the new stuff, like the new It, I can't handle. But like go back to the Tim Curry It, I love it.
But yeah, we could have gotten an explanation like that, and it totally would have made sense. Like his cells just kind of started regenerating like crazy, and that's
what I thought they were starting to go with at first, because the doctor mentioned something similar.
Yeah, like that totally would have made sense, but instead it was a weird like recessed gene from
evolution.
Yeah, like you can't just say the word evolution and it answer everything, doctor. Like that's not how it works.
Yeah, I wonder how awkward that was for Gaddis and the older lady to kiss.
I mean, like part of acting is just kissing people.
I get it. I really do. I'm an actor. Anyway. I have not had to do a stage kiss yet. Like I haven't had to. None of my roles have involved stage kissing. And but still, because I remember. Oh no, that's getting more into spoiler territory. Never mind. I'll talk about that in spoilers.
I feel like half of acting is just like kind of being cool with stage kissing whoever.
Yeah. You really have to be cool with it, and you really got to remember that that's what it is and nothing else.
Yeah.
And like I have had people in some of my theater classes abuse that power.
Yeah,
and I am not okay with that. That is not cool.
Yeah, it's really not.
Because like we were doing Twelfth Night by William Shakespeare, and this one girl was like talking to this other guy, like, yeah, well, since we're a couple in the show, we should probably practice kissing, when they didn't actually kiss in the show at all. And it was very, very
Goodness. Anyway.
Yeah.
Let's talk about something else.
Yeah. Okay. Saxon.
Saxon. Who is Harold Saxon?
No, this information comes from Harold Saxon himself. Who could Saxon be?
Knows something about the Doctor, apparently. Or at least, like, he's making stuff up about the Doctor. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
Who knows?
We do. No such thing as an ordinary human. That was a good line.
Once again, the theme of the show comes up, and it's good. Good stuff.
Right. I literally cannot think of anything else other than Ra's al Ghul and the Lazarus Pit.
Like both this and the like Batman concept were obviously based off of the the story of Jesus raising Lazarus from the dead, but like the first thought is Batman. Right.
Yeah, no, my thought doesn't go to Jesus. No, it goes to Batman.
It goes to Batman.
I'm a horrible person. I think that's all we've got. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I don't really have any spoiler notes, but
I've got a few.
Okay. Well,
actually, I have one last thing before spoilers.
Okay.
Oh, Anna, if only there was someone that loved you.
I thought of that too. In that scene where
Lazarus is and his wife.
Yeah.
Why would I? Oh, but why would I waste another lifetime with you?
Yeah. That was awful.
Okay, let's dive into some spoiler territory. Spoiler warning. So yeah, really the only spoiler stuff I have is just a couple things. I'll start off with the things that I briefly mentioned beforehand and just didn't really want to get into because we were in the non-spoiler section.
Okay.
The one episode in series 10 I was talking about that is really just human stuff was Thin Ice.
Yeah.
That was very purely human. And actually, if you want to get technical, the next episode, Knock Knock, was actually kind of purely human too. Because we don't know where those wood cockroaches things came from.
That's true.
Because the Doctor even said in that episode, like, because he was talking to the one kid, like, are they alien? I don't know. I don't know. I've never seen them before. They could be alien. They very well could not be alien.
Right.
I mean, it could just be a brand new species no one's discovered yet.
Yeah. But also, like, I think what that episode doesn't really have that you do see in like Thin Ice and in this episode is just like those very human, like very human desires and like very human flaws that are kind of causing the main conflict.
I disagree.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Let's hear it.
Because the old man that is doing it and like had the woman that was completely made out of wood is his mother. And he was doing it so she could live because she was dying of an illness. And so what he did was to protect her so she could continue living because he didn't want to lose his mother.
Yeah, that's a very fair point. That's a very fair point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I disagree. It's probably been a while since you've seen that episode anyway.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a bit, so I didn't even remember exactly what happened in it.
Okay. Second thing was the kissing thing we were talking about. I do remember Matt Smith saying it was very awkward with him and Alex Kingston at first when they were kissing the first couple times. Just because of the age gap and everything.
Oh, dude, I don't care. I would love to kiss Alex Kingston.
Dude, same. But I do remember Matt Smith saying something like that.
I have no idea how old she is even.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't care.
Uh,
Spoilers.
Come on, Matt. You've been giving a rare gift. Uh,
Okay. Yeah, okay. Last spoiler note. The Master. We discussed while watching this, like, it's very interesting to rewatch this and know that the Master is behind this experiment and everything.
mm-hmm.
Of like, maybe he was also kind of experimenting, because like we know why he did this experiment,
Right?
which is revealed later in the season in the penultimate and the finale of this episode of this season. I mean, is that like to learn about genetics and like to be able to use genetics against the Doctor and turn him old and everything, so he's unable to do shit and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just but we started thinking, like, maybe this was another way of the Master of experimenting with regeneration,
Right?
like a new way for regeneration, because, and it really would work for the Master, because like when his first appearance in it was Attack of the Autons, in which was John Pertwee's era, the Third Doctor, was the first appearance of the Master, and that Master was already on his last regeneration,
right?
And like his whole thing throughout the show was trying to steal the Doctor's remaining regenerations,
Right? Yeah, and so it would kind of make sense that maybe like the Master also had the thought of, if I could turn back my own clock, then like I can either like get more regenerations. I don't know if that would work, or he could like, you know, make each regeneration last longer.
Right. But you know, it's a very interesting concept to think about, because it is the Master.
Right.
Well, I think that's all we've got for this week.
That's all I got.
Thank you for joining us this week. We will see you all again next week when we talk and review Doctor Who Series 3, Episode 7, 42.